Alright, good morning Canadian Yarn Heart. My name is Alyssa and today we're going to make this cute little coaster. I know this looks like a little owl, but I am going to be making a cute little ghost coaster. There's the pattern I'm going to be working with. This is the one I did. So what the difference here is, this is a peyote graph and this one is a brick stitch graph. Now, what I did with the peyote is I worked this way for crochet. So I was going up and down. This one will be working this way. Since it didn't turn out the first way, I'm going to try this way. I'm going to move you over to the overhead cam and we're going to get started. All right, so the yarn I will be using is I will be using basically this classic cotton loops and thread. I have black and I have orange for this. The ghost will be done in glow in the dark. There is not much information about glow in the dark. I will link it in the description below. I did order it off of Amazon. You can get other glow in the darks. That's just what I have. This is what I have for these guys. These are both cotton. Cotton is really, really good for hand claws and that. The orange we will not need until the end. We are going to use a 3.5mm hook and let's get started. I do apologize about that. That was a truck going past my house. I do live in somewhat the country and we have trucks go by a lot of times. So I'm just going to slide you back just a little bit, I think. Just right, my arm's in the right spot. And we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 stitches. So you're going to cast on or chain 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I am going to do a 16th one just to give myself a bit of extra room. That will be about the width of your coaster, so that's a good size. We're going to chain 2 extra now. And now you're going to single crochet the entire first row. So we're just going to single crochet this. Now the orange will be the outside border, so I'm not going to be worrying about the orange for now. The moon and the ghost will be the same colors, although if you really do want to change it, more than welcome. I have a bunch of different glow in the dark yarn styles. I just don't want to dig them out right at the moment, and I do think the white glow in the dark will look good on this one. So we're just going to single crochet. That will be the stitch we use for the whole thing. I will have to go through most of this because it is a graph, so you'll have to watch me do row by row. We'll end up making this video a little bit longer. Speaking of which, I would like to say, if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you're a new viewer, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming and seeing what we're about. So what you're going to do is you want to crochet. So I'm going to count 8 stitches back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is where you're going to put a stitch marker, and that will be where you start the glow in the dark. So you're just going to single crochet to the stitch marker. And the reason I did it that way is because I want it centered the right way and because we're starting the ghost on the back. So if I had done a second black row, it would have been fine. I would have been where I wanted to, but I don't know how big this is going to get. So now that we're at that stitch, take it off, grab your glow in the dark yarn. You are going to keep your black working yarn, go along. I will do this for the first one, and then the next rows I will probably have a secondary ball just so that I can have 2 ends working on it. You're going to use 5 stitches of glow in the dark. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's your 5 stitches. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab your black and you're going to use the black till the end of the row. So you just come up and you go to the end of the row as black. Now you can leave your white there, glow in the dark, because you're going to get it on the next row. So this video will be a little differently simply because of the fact that we're doing a graph. I will have to do most of it on the video. It won't be one that I can do outside. So you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to turn. You're going to 1, 2, and not pull that fully through. Now this is where I like to, I'm going to pull out, because you know there's going to be a bit of rows. So I'm going to pull out a little bit of yarn out of the ball. So I have a yarn barb here going. So I'm going to pull it all out. And I'm going to pull a bit of it off to the work I'm working on. Because I know I'm going to need a small little batch. Let's get the orange out of here. It's gotten itself all tangled in amongst it. Just going to detangle this. That's a pretty good clump. Grab a second clump. Just try and pull some apart. That would be my son leaving. I do apologize. So I'm just going to trim there, giving me 2 separate balls to work with now, because as I said, I don't want to, oops, I just got them tangled, so I just want to pull that out of my way. So now you'll have a black working yarn on one side and a black working yarn on the other. So I'll show you how to work it. So you're going to the next row, you're going to crochet 2, and then you're going to grab your white, your glow in the dark, and you're going to pull it over so you can see there's a line. You're going to go under, pull through, and crochet. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this will be number 6. And for this one, you just don't pull the last bit, and now you're going to add the second black yarn. So this one, you're just going to go all the way across in single crochet. And the next one, yet again, you're going to go to 1 before the ghost. So that's 1 and 2, so we're on 3. Now, if you do need a graph, I don't know how to upload graphs to YouTube. If you would like me to figure out how to put it on the computer, I can try that. I do not have the old program I used to use to make bead patterns anymore. If I can find another bead program or knitting program or something, I will try to load the graph up onto it so that I can give you the graph. If I can do that, I can't promise that. That is something I'm still learning. So this one, you're going to want to go almost to the black stitch. So 1 before the black, or 1 before the glow. So there's your last stitch. You're going to leave your yarn there, and you're going to do this the same way. Now, you are going to get tangled with 2 different yarns. You can keep them separate, but sometimes it is just easier to move the balls around to keep yourself untangled, especially if you're new at it and you're learning. It's just easy. Sometimes you can put the bags in a plastic bag. Some yarns do not handle being moved as much, so they tangle really badly the more they're moved. So if you have a yarn like that, you don't want to really move it around, put it in a plastic bag and move the plastic bag. It will give you the same opportunity. So I'm going to add an extra one here. We're going to pull that up and in, and I'm going to drag that through next stitch. Go, and that will be 2. So there we go. 1, 2, and turn again. So there's the base of your ghost. Now this one is 4, 1, 2, 3. So this one's 4. So your first stitch, you're going to go in, come up, grab the black again, go in right there. Nope, nope, not grabbing your black string. You want to keep it on the side because it's now just going to be the one side. And as I said, you will get tangled, so just untangle it. And then you're just going to run this one over, all the way over. And now the next row, it'll be a little bit different. So let's get your glow yarn tag out of there. So next, on this one, since this is 4, so this will be your last increase on this particular part. So you're going to come out and you're going to do 1 more. And if you notice, I grabbed that black thread and carry it with me. And then you just come up. You don't need to worry about the black thread, the glow in the dark thread. So you're just going to go across now. Now, this next row, you're going to do 1 less on the glow in the dark. So one of the glow in the dark stitches on each side will be black. So yeah, that's what you're going to do. So you are going to now chain 2, 1, 2, turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then just pull that yarn away, slip the glow in the dark through, and you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now you're going to grab this yarn and you're going to do the same thing, pull it up and through, and then you're going to do the glow in the dark. 2. There you go. So you have 2 stitches on that one. So you're going to cast chain 2, turn your work. You're going to do 1, 2, go all the way through. But as you can see, I'm yet again twisting. Just take it out and move it out of your way. So there's that. Now, what I wanted to say about the pattern and the graph is, as you can see, this is what I'm working with. Do I have a small Post-it note? From working with a lot of patterns and beadwork over the years, I have learned that a Post-it note can be your biggest friend when you're doing work like this. So you count your rows. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now you can go there with your Post-it note. And because of that, you know where you are in your project. So now you're just going to go. So it's 1, 2, 5. So it should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is 6. So now you know what you're doing. You know where you are on the graph. And you just keep going. And it will help you keep your place. So then remember, you're going to do 1 less glow in the dark single. So you're just going to come up, over, here, and you're going to go all the way over to the side. There you go. That's the next row done. Now, what I always recommend is you finish the row, put it down, grab your project, and what I like to do is just leave a smidge of the former row peeking out. So you're like, okay, so now I see I go yet again another single crochet black in the glow in the dark. So you're going to go yet again. Oh, here's yet another truck today. Busy road today. So now when you get to the glow in the dark, you're going to want to make sure your thread is up and working along your working thread like that. You're going to come in and you're going to just do the one stitch. Come up. And you're going to do 5 of these guys. So now you want to make sure the black yarn's out of there. You can travel with the yarn, and that's what we did in the first row. My problem is as you can see the black, it does take away from the project. So if you can do it this way, I highly recommend doing it this way, because this way you will be able to keep as much of the black out of the ghost as possible. And that's a good thing for your pattern. And we're not going to worry about the black ones. I know you see it blacked out in here. It is actually a beading pattern, so I will technically there. That's better. I had noticed I had dropped a stitch there. I hadn't actually followed through. So now we're going to do that this way, and then you're going to go back to this. And this is why Post-it notes are great for this job. You just keep picking them up, and this one goes in again, putting it back down, and it's so much easier, especially when you're working with multiple colors, multiple projects, multiple stitches, whatever it is. If you're working with beadwork, this is what I would very much recommend to do. Now, as you can see, you are getting tangled again. We will take you out, put you over there, single one, too much. So I think sometimes this happens. I'm not going to add on. I'm just going to keep this one the same as the row before it. And I think that'll give me just a little bit of a better neck, but we will call it what I've done. So there you go, just the exact same row. That's the throat. Just going to single crochet all the way to the end. Now it is crochet. You will get these little stragglers. There's not much you can do about it. If you want to, I guess I could do that. Never thought of doing that. I could do that. I might do that on the other one. So I might pause the video in a second and try something. But we're just going to keep going here. So the next row, we're going to grow again. So this one with the glow in the dark. So this is the head. You're going to grow 2 more stitches on either side of the head. So you should have, you should have 5 stitches for the neck. So because I didn't take it down to 3 or 4, I actually had it at 4. So now we need 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it onto this side. And then you're just going to keep single crocheting across. Because it's said to increase on both sides, I'm going to do that. tangle here, so I'm going to have to work on that for just a quick second. So now that the tangle is done, you're just going to tighten that up and single crochet across. 2, 3, 4, 2, turn. So the next row is this one. And then you're going to increase this row and then the next row as well. So this row is an increase of glow in the dark. 1, 2, and then you're going to add your glow in the dark. Away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Now I'm going to grab this black and we will finish off this row. Now the next row I'm going to finish off and then I'm going to pause it and I'm going to grab, actually no, I think I'll do it that way instead. I was going to put on actual safety eyes, but I think if you actually are a returning viewer, which I hope you are, I have made Halloween ghost hand towels, and in there I made the eyes and the mouth of the ghost handmade. And I think because this is going to be a coaster and you want it to lay really, really flat, and you don't want anything like the eyes pushing on the back holding it up, I think what I'm going to do is, so this one's where we start taking it down. So now we're going to start decreasing the glow in the dark portion. In the next row, I'm going to have to add glow in the dark moon somehow. I think I might just do the same tactic I did at the beginning of this video, which is just take about that much. It's only 6 stitches. Cut it off, set it aside, and then when you're ready to do that portion, you actually have, let me just get these tangled or detangled or whatever I got going on here. So now you're going to, oops, no, and you're going to go over. So I don't have to worry about eye placement and mouth placement just yet because I'm not actually going to be dealing with them just yet. I'm going to deal with them when I'm at the end. Just probably before I actually do the border, because border will be really easy to do. So 3, 4, 2, turn. So now we are going to do the next row. Now this one will have the moon. So this one we are going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then your glow in the dark will absolutely, oopsie, sorry about that. And then the glow in the dark will be 5 or whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm above it by chance. So I'm going to do, this one will be another repeat row, just because I know for a fact this does not look Looks like a ghost, does it? Not yet, but we'll get there. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I use this just light little glow in the dark piece. So we're just going to do 1. Now this one I can and will have to run the black through it because I do know I'm not gonna. So you'll probably see the black run throughout the moon. It sucks, but I can't help that. So there's 2. Now we're just gonna grab this and we're gonna go 1, 2. And this one we're gonna go pull that out because I will probably darn that in a minute. 1, 2. And you're going to just grab the white. 1, 2, 3. Nope. Nope, I forgot to drag the black, so you're going to have to do that. So you're going to have to drag the black around. So what you're going to do, right one. There we go. So you're going to lay that down. You're going to come down, wrapping the yarn up through. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you can see there's the black in there. There's not much I can do about that. That is just how this is going to work. You're just going to have to accept it. Unless, of course, somebody has a better way to do it, and by all means, let me know. I will try it out, and we will see if we can make it better here. So there is that. Now this should be your last glow in the dark row for this one. So we're just going to do 2, 1, 2, and then we're just going to grab it and start trim it. So this one is no longer a part of your work. Now you're going to pick up this one. And you're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. Now I'm going to darn this end in. I'm actually going to cut and darn the other one. There we go. There's that. I'm not going to be too worried about these tails coming undone. I don't think this is going to get a lot of use. So I'm not terribly worried. You can darn them in a lot better later. If you would like, I'm just trying to get it a lot neater for me to work here. So I can see what I'm doing. I can see where I'm working, and I can detangle this bloody tangle that is just not going anywhere. So there we go. This will actually help this look a lot better. We're going to darn in now. So there's that. Trim. I'm grab the glow in the dark. Not that one. Did I trim it in already? I must have. All right, so now we're going to go all the way over to the moon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bring this yarn up. There we go. You are going to drag the black yarn through. You don't have much of a choice. You're going to go 1, 2. You come up on that one. You're going to bring the black through. So your moon is done. Now I am going to go in and embroider past 2. So we're going to do this 1, 2, 3, all the way across. We're going to do 1 full black one all the way across. I am going to get rid of these tails. They're driving me mental, which is something anybody who knows me on this channel will know. I hate tails. Pretty sure it's a norm. But I like to get them out of my way when I can. So, trim, trim, trim. And that way, now you only have a couple of working threads to worry about. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to work on the eyeballs first. So I'm just going to finish this row off. So this is done. Get that out of here. And as I said, now what you're going to do is you're just going to finish this guy off. You're going to get to the end and you're going to trim both edges, like trim and darn both ends, I should say. So there we go, last stitch, like that. There we go. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to darn these in. This to me is the better section. I like this side better. Don't know why. I think it looks a little nicer. But that is just my opinion. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to, like I said, darn these guys in. Get them out of your way. And we're going to darn this one in. Just going to go right across as far as you can. And just darn that in. So now that we got that done, we are going to use this for an eyeball. Just a little piece of used black yarn. So I'm just going to come here to pull it through. And I'm just going to do it the other way around. I'm going to have it on the back, pull it through. Because it's small, it is going to come off on you a couple times. It's just because it is little. And this is how you use up some of your scraps if you have them. And then what I like to do is I'm going to tie that up. And like I said, this is what I'm going to do for the eyes and the mouth. So there's the eye. I'm going to repeat that in just a second. I'm just going to grab a little bit more yarn so I'm not fighting with the little pieces so much. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing when we look at them again. Look at them in front. There's one eye. The other eye looks to be about here. That's right. Now this is where personality starts to come in for your creation. The one tail, tighten. There we go. And then tie up, as I just showed. And then the mouth is a slightly different thing you're going to do. I'm not going to darn off, only because you're just going to come out. You're going to kind of try and that. And there's your little mouth. Now I'm just going to come back up to the eyeball and tie it off. And that way that's done. Now what we're going to do next, and this is what I was saying, I was going to test out the other one, but I think I'll do it here without any test runs or anything. I am done with the black, so we can put it away. That is a mess, but I will deal with another day. And then that's as well. So now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your glow in the dark, so you can use this again. I was not sure if I was gonna, but as I said, I'm gonna give this a shot. I think this will actually help make the lines look a lot better. So we're just gonna keep going around the ghost. I hope he looks like a ghost when I'm done. And like I said, you just keep going around and around, trying to grab the edges. This would be if you had a pencil and you were outlining your project. So that's all we're basically doing right now. We're just connecting those outside lines, making them look right and complete. So you're just going to keep going up. Oh, 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 oh. And this is the one thing about this glow-in-the-dark yarn. It can do that. It does split easy. That is what it's called when it does that. It's called splitting. And I always try to stop it when it splits. Now, this is definitely going to be a pattern that you're only going to really be able to show one side of. The other side won't look the same. It won't look quite right. But I do think we are making one odd-looking ghost, but it's coming out. Ah, here we go. And this will hopefully just help by outlining your ghost. It is not essential, but I really didn't like the look of him without an outline because it just looked like he had a bunch of these little black lines in him, and not my favorite. Oh, that's so all right. There we go. There we go. That's better. Now, if I were to make this into a pin, this pattern and that would have turned out beautifully. And this isn't turning out so bad. It definitely isn't what I thought it would be, but it definitely isn't turning out badly. I'm not upset with this, and I might actually use this to go down the other one. And as I said, if I can figure out a program to make those graphs for beadwork on the computer, I will link both of them, and you just follow both of them, either one of them. Same thing, just follow them, and then when you're done, as I said, if you don't quite like the way it looks, you can always try this tactic of just trying to outline it, and hopefully that doesn't look too terribly bad. Oh, it's split again, did it? Nope. I'm going to take this off that one, this one in the back. I am going to pause and do this to the other one so I can show you what the other one looks like. And as I said, if it comes down to it where you really, really, really don't like those black lines, you can manipulate your threads sometimes to make it so that you can hide some of it. So just, if you wanted to make it look a little more authentically glow in the dark where there's no black in there, you could just go around like this as well, tightening up the sides, making your ghost look a little bit more ghostly and glow in the dark. But I'm going to call that good. I am going to go around the moon, so I will do that. I will come back and I will have both my patterns have gone through, and I'll show you what they both look like. I will be back in a minute. Okay, so there we go. There's the two of them actually done. They look actually a lot better. They both look better. So what I'm going to do now is we're just going to actually grab the orange, and we're going to grab one of this right here. We're going to single crochet around this border, and it will be simple and easy. So one, and you're just going to go all the way around it. And you're going to just finish this off. This will be how it finishes off. I didn't do the moon because I really wanted it to be a little more, I guess, hazy. I was going to do it, and then I decided both of them I didn't want to, although I really do think that one looks like an owl. But it still works. I do like the ghosts. I do think they are a little cute. So we are just going to finish this one off. I will be very, very happy when it's done. I've had it sitting on my table for a few weeks now. So I'm going to just do 3 single crochets in the corner, as you know. So 1, 2, 3, and then you're just going to go down. So you're just going to go all the way around now. And as I said, this will be the front of your coaster. And I'm just going to pause it. I will finish it off. I will show you it at the end after I've darned in the ends, because I've shown you how to go around a border before. Although if this is your first time, it's no different than what I've just been doing. You just keep going around and around. The corners get 3 stitches in them. That's how you travel around a corner. As you can see, you just keep single crocheting around. If you do want to see a complete border, one of my hand towels, I'm not sure which one, so this is the corner. 1, 2, and 3. And now you're just going to single crochet. Oop, that one, I'm going to do that one. All the way across this one, and I will come back in a second. Alright, so here we go. There it is. I'm just going to darn this in. I don't know if you call him a ghost, but to me he's my cute little ghost. So for a second attempt at, technically a first attempt at what is called brick stitch in beading language. And this one was peyote. I think the peyote one turned out a little bit better, which is where I went with the side pattern. But either way you look at it, there's a couple of cute little ghosts. I mean, you could just do a square, put the moon in there, and then make an applique ghost and put the ghost on. But this ghost is actually worked in. So I'm just going to darn them off. Just kind of stretch them into place. Trim the edge. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I do hope to see you again. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye.